boys and girls. Today we're going to learn about repairing run-on sentences. Why do they need to be repaired, you asked? Because they are incorrectly written. So I'm going to show you an example of what is a run-on sentence, and then I'm going to show you how we fix it. Here's an example. Drew took a trip to the zoo. He saw a bear. You guessed it, right away this is two sentences combined together, but not the right way, making a compound sentence like we learned last week, but just by smushing two sentences together. So that is incorrect. And making a compound sentence is one way to correct it, but there are other ways to correct it as well. There's actually 4 different ways I'm going to show you today. The first way is to add periods and capital letters to make it into 2 separate sentences. The next way is to make it a compound sentence. The third way is to remove the pronoun, so that would be he right here, which is referring to Drew, and then add a connecting word instead, like and, but, or, so. Or the fourth way, and this is actually pretty advanced, is to just add a semicolon. It's easy to add in, but it's an advanced way to write your sentences. All right, so let's go ahead and correct the sentence using the 4 different ways that I just talked about. First one, Drew took a trip to the zoo. He saw a bear. Let's separate this into 2 separate sentences. So the end of the first sentence is right here after zoo, so I'm going to put a period. And if this is the end of the sentence, that makes this the beginning of the next sentence. So I need to capitalize the H in he because it's the first word of a sentence, and we always capitalize the first word of a sentence, right? Okay, so they might be shorter sentences. They're not super sophisticated, but at least they are punctuated correctly. Short sentences that are punctuated correctly are better than a run-on sentence. Second way is to make a more sophisticated compound sentence. Drew took a trip to the zoo and he saw a bear. So to make it a correct compound sentence, we need a comma after the first sentence. And then this little symbol here is called a caret. We put this when we need to insert a word that doesn't fit in that space. So I'm going to put a caret there, which means put and in that space if you were to rewrite the sentence. Very good. So we have a compound sentence, so that is correct. The third way is to take out this pronoun he and just put a connecting word there instead. And you'll see it sounds much better. Drew took a trip to the zoo and saw a bear. Okay, we don't need a comma like in the compound sentence because saw a bear is not a sentence by itself. So here we're just combining words, not sentences. And super simple is just to put a semicolon in between the 2 sentences. Drew took a trip to the zoo, he saw a bear. So now none of these are run-on sentences. They are all repaired in 4 different ways. All right, let's do another one together. This time, if you want to get a piece of paper and a pencil, you can write down the sentences while you pause the video. Go ahead and try to correct them in the 4 different ways. And then when you're all done, you can check back and we're going to go through the 4 ways to repair a run-on sentence. Okay, first one says, Claudia did her homework last night. She even read an AR book for an hour. So the first way to correct it is by making it into 2 separate sentences. So the end of the first sentence is right here. Claudia did her homework last night, period. Then another sentence starts here, so I need to capitalize she because it's the beginning of a sentence. So now I have 2 complete sentences punctuated the correct way. That run-on is repaired. The next way to repair it is to make a compound sentence. Claudia did her homework last night, comma, and she even read an AR book for an hour. Beautiful compound sentence. You have to have that comma and conjunction or combining word. Third way, Claudia did her homework last night and even read an AR book for an hour. If we take she out of there, then we don't have a subject for our second complete sentence, and we're just combining a lot of words. So now this run-on is repaired. And last but not least, Claudia did her homework last night, semicolon. She even read an AR book for an hour. All right, hopefully that's what you had. Let's try one more sentence, correcting it the 4 different ways, and then you will be on your own. Here we go. Gloria bought cookies at the bake sale. She gave one to Grace. Go ahead and pause the video so you can correct these 4 sentences in 4 different ways. All right, welcome back. Gloria bought cookies at the bake sale is a sentence by itself. I'm going to put a period there and capitalize the S in she because that is now the beginning of my second sentence. So that one is repaired. The next one we're going to repair by putting a comma at the end of the first sentence and using the conjunction and to combine my 2 complete sentences. And now I have a compound sentence. Gloria bought cookies at the bake sale and she gave one to Grace. Sounds good. Next way is to take out she, which is the pronoun and the subject of the second sentence, and just use the word and. Gloria bought cookies at the bake sale and gave one to Grace. And last but not least is to stick that semicolon right in between the 2 sentences. Nice and easy, but also not really 3rd grade level, kind of what the older kids would probably maybe do in their writing. So very good. Now you're going to do some practices on IXL, identifying run-on sentences, complete sentences, and fragment sentences. Also, in your writing this week, when you're answering questions in complete sentences, try to use compound sentences and make sure you don't have any run-ons that need repairing. All right, good luck.